Welcome back to another deep dive. Today, things are getting a little technical as we explore generative AI.
Ooh, sounds exciting.
It is. In our last episode, we talked about how AI is impacting businesses.
Right, right.
But today, we're going even deeper and uncovering the tech driving this whole creative revolution.
I like it.
Like, imagine a machine that could forge a painting so real it could fool, like, anyone, even art experts.
Really?
Yeah. That's what generative adversarial networks can do, GANs for short.
GANs, huh? I've heard of those.
And that's just one of the models we'll be looking at today.
Wow, generative AI really is pushing the boundaries. AI writing stories, making music, even designing products. It's incredible.
I know, right?
But to really get it, we need to understand how it works, the core models that power it all.
Yeah. And I'm super excited to break down these models. From what I've learned, there are four big ones: GANs, VAEs, LLMs, and diffusion models.
You got it. Each one has its own way of creating new data. They each have their strengths and weaknesses.
So let's start with those GANs we talked about.
Okay, sure.
The whole AI art forger thing is kind of mind-blowing.
It is pretty wild. You see, GANs work by basically having two neural networks compete.
Compete, like, against each other.
Exactly. One network, the generator, creates the data, like our art forger.
Okay.
Then the other network, the discriminator, acts as the expert trying to spot the fakes.
Ah, I see. So it's like a constant back and forth.
Yeah, and through that process, both networks get better and better. The generator gets really good at making convincing data, and the discriminator gets even better at finding tiny flaws.
Wow, so they both learn from each other.
Exactly. And that's how GANs make such realistic stuff.
That's amazing. So what are some things that GANs are really good at making? What kind of data are we talking about?
Well, they're especially good at creating images, videos, you name it, even audio.
No way.
Oh, yeah. Think about those deep fakes you see online, the ones that look so real, or those AI-generated faces like on websites. That's often the work of GANs.
That's kind of creepy, but also super cool.
It is pretty mind-blowing.
So if GANs are good at making visuals, what about VAEs? What are they good at?
Well, variational autoencoders, or VAEs, they take a totally different approach.
How so?
It's not about competition with VAEs. It's more like they're data artists.
Oh.
It's like taking a photograph and turning it into a special code that has all the photo's details. Then the VAE uses that code to make variations of the original.
Huh. So like it can make new versions of the same photo.
More than that.
Oh.
Think of it like a digital art studio. You can tweak and remix the data to create something new.
That's neat.
VAEs are great for things like changing product designs, personalizing ads, even composing new music and guessing styles.
So each model has its own specialty. Pretty cool. But what about language? We humans, we love our words. Can AI handle something as complicated as language?
Absolutely. That's where large language models come in, or LLMs.
LLMs.
They're trained on tons and tons of text data. They learn how language is structured, the relationships between words, how we express ourselves.
It's like feeding an AI a whole library of books and then telling it, okay, now write your own.
That's a great way to put it. Have you ever used ChatGPT?
I have.
Well, ChatGPT uses LLMs to understand what you're asking and give you a human-like response. LLMs also power things like translation tools, creative writing software, even code generators.
Wow, that's wild. It's hard to imagine how much info these things are processing. Okay, we've got one more to go. Diffusion models. What's their deal?
Diffusion models are kind of like reverse engineers.
Reverse engineers.
Imagine you have a photo, and slowly it gets covered in noise, like static, until you can't see it anymore.
Okay.
A diffusion model learns to do that in reverse. It starts with pure noise and gradually removes it to make a clear image.
Oh, that's backwards.
It's a really cool technique. Diffusion models are great at picking up tiny details and textures, so they make super realistic images.
Wow. So we've got GANs battling it out, VAEs making art, LLMs mastering language, and diffusion models doing their reverse magic.
That's a great way to sum it up.
But how does all this actually play out in the real world? Like, if I use one of these AI tools, what's that process like?
Well, think of it like giving the AI a creative brief.
Okay.
To give it some input, maybe a text prompt, a picture, some data, whatever. Like you could say, create an image of a city in the future, or write a blog about how AI affects education.
Right. So I'm giving the AI my idea, the spark.
Exactly. And then using all the data it's been trained on, the AI model processes your input and starts creating the output. That's where all the algorithms and neural networks come in. It takes your simple request and uses its knowledge to make something new.
And then I get like an image or a text or even music, right?
Yeah, exactly. You can use that, share it, whatever you want.
This tech is getting easier to use all the time. It's not just for computer scientists anymore.
I know. With all these user-friendly interfaces, anyone can try these tools and get creative. That's what's so cool. It opens up a whole world of possibilities.
I'm excited to see what people come up with. It would be great to talk more about real-world examples of these models. We've touched on a few, but I want to know how they're being used across different industries.
Sounds good.
Like ChatGPT is super popular. What makes it so unique? And how are people using it beyond just chatting?
Well, ChatGPT shows off what LLMs can do. It's not just responding. It understands the little details of language, it can write in different styles, and adapt to how you talk to it.
So it's more like an AI assistant than just a chatbot.
Right. People are using it in education for personalized learning, in customer service for quick help, even in healthcare for therapy.
Wow, it really is versatile. We can't forget about DALL-E and the visual side of things. It can make amazing images just from text prompts like magic.
I know. Designers use it to prototype products, marketers make visuals for campaigns, and artists are using it to explore new ways to express themselves. It's a real game changer.
I've seen people use it to design their own online avatars and make unique art for their homes. It's crazy.
The possibilities are endless. And it's not just about making pretty pictures. DALL-E can help visualize data too, so people can understand complex info more easily.
Oh, that's cool. Like it's bridging the gap between data and art.
Exactly.
Now, we talked about Gemini as being a more powerful tool for more complex tasks.
Right.
Can you give us some examples of how businesses are using it?
Sure. Gemini is all about finding valuable information from data and using that to make decisions. It helps businesses analyze customer feedback, spot market trends, even predict what might happen in the future.
So like having an AI consultant who sifts through mountains of data and gives you advice.
Exactly. Think of a store using Gemini to see which products sell best and then use that to, stock up and market better.
It's all about using data to make smarter decisions.
Absolutely. And it's not just about profits. Researchers are using Gemini to analyze climate data to help fight environmental issues.
That's amazing. These models are touching everything, and this is just the start. As they keep evolving, who knows what we'll see in the future.
I know, right? It's a really exciting time to be following this technology.
Well, this has been an awesome look into the models that make generative AI tick, from neural networks battling it out to data DJs and language wizards. It's clear that this tech is changing how we create things. But I think there's still so much more to uncover. Let's keep this deep dive going in the next part and explore even more fascinating stuff about this crazy, fast-evolving field.
Sounds good to me. I'm ready.
This technology is moving so fast.
I know, right? It seems like every day there's some new breakthrough.
It can be hard to keep up.
It really can.
But that's part of what makes it so fascinating.
Totally.
The deeper we go with generative AI, the more we see things that we thought were only possible in, like sci-fi movies.
It's true. Imagine a world where everyone has access to personalized education, no matter where they are.
That would be amazing.
Generative AI could create custom learning, tailored to each student's needs and how they learn best.
Wow, a real education revolution.
Exactly.
It would make learning more accessible and engaging for everyone.
Definitely.
And what about healthcare? The possibilities there seem huge.
Absolutely. AI is already helping doctors with diagnoses, catching things earlier and more accurately.
I've heard about that.
But imagine personalized treatment plans.
Whoa.
Or even AI-designed drugs created specifically for your genes.
That's incredible. It could completely change healthcare.
I think so.
Shifting from just treating problems to preventing them in the first place.
A whole new approach.
And then there's the creative world, music, art, literature.
Oh, yeah. Generative AI is already shaking things up there.
It is.
We're seeing AI-generated music topping the charts, AI artwork selling for millions.
Really? Millions?
Yeah. And AI-written novels are captivating readers.
Wow, that's wild.
It makes you wonder what it even means to be creative when machines can do things we thought only humans could.
It really blurs the lines, doesn't it?
It does.
It feels like this is just the beginning.
Oh, definitely.
Generative AI could change pretty much every industry.
I think so, too. From manufacturing and transportation to finance and energy.
It's like this powerful new tool.
Exactly. It can be used anywhere that creativity and problem-solving are needed.
But it's not all sunshine and roses, right?
Right.
There are some potential downsides we have to think about.
Absolutely. We can't just ignore those.
We need to figure out how to develop and use this technology in a way that benefits everyone, not just a select few.
I agree 100%.
That's a tough question, though.
It is. There's no easy answer.
How do we even start to figure that out?
Well, I think the most important thing is to keep talking about it, openly and honestly.
Okay, yeah.
We need to get policymakers, industry leaders, and everyday people involved to come up with guidelines and rules to make sure this technology is developed and used responsibly.
So we need regulations.
Regulations, education, research, it's all part of understanding the risks and figuring out how to minimize them.
We can't just sit back and let things happen. We need to be proactive.
Yeah.
Speaking of how this affects people, I'm curious about how generative AI might change our everyday lives.
It already is.
It is.
Think about social media, how the algorithms choose what you see,
Right?
or how streaming services recommend movies and shows.
Yeah, that's true.
That's AI at work.
So, in a way, it's already shaping how we experience things online.
And those are just basic examples.
So it's only going to get more integrated into our lives.
I think so.
So what can we do about it?
Well, we have to be aware of how it's being used and make choices about how we interact with it.
It's like we need a new kind of digital literacy.
Exactly. A way to understand AI and how it influences us.
It's not just about knowing how the tech works, it's about critically evaluating its impact on us and society as a whole.
Exactly. We have to think for ourselves, question where information is coming from, and be aware of potential biases in AI-generated content.
It's like learning to navigate a whole new media landscape.
That's a great way to put it.
A landscape shaped by AI.
We need the knowledge and the tools to do that, thoughtfully and carefully.
Yeah, it's a lot to consider.
It is.
But even with all the concerns about the potential downsides, I think it's important to stay positive.
I agree.
We need to focus on using this technology for good.
I completely agree. Generative AI has the potential to help solve some of the biggest problems facing humanity.
But we have to be the ones to guide its development, to make sure it's used ethically and responsibly.
Absolutely. The future isn't something that just happens to us. We make it happen through the choices we make.
That's a great point.
It is up to us.
So what can people do if they want to learn more about generative AI? Where should they start?
The best thing to do is jump in and start experimenting. There are a lot of free online tools that are easy to use.
Like ChatGPT, right?
Exactly. It's a great way to experience the power of LLMs.
You can have conversations, ask questions, and even play around with different writing styles.
It's a fun way to get a feel for how these models work.
And if you're more visual, DALL-E is a great way to explore generating images from text prompts.
It's super intuitive and a lot of fun.
And if you're feeling really adventurous, there are online courses and tutorials that teach you how to code and build your own AI models.
That's a great way to go deeper. You can learn how the tech works and create your own applications.
And don't forget about the online communities.
Oh yeah, those are great.
There are forums and groups dedicated to generative AI.
Ton of them.
You can connect with people, share your work, and learn from each other.
It's a supportive environment where you can stay up to date and find inspiration.
It's all about learning and exploring together.
Exactly. This field is constantly changing, so there's always something new to learn.
That's what makes it so exciting. You don't have to become an expert overnight. Just stay curious and keep exploring.
That's the best way to approach it.
Who knows, maybe you'll discover the next big AI application or create something totally new that pushes the boundaries even further.
I love that idea.
Now, before we move on, there's one big question we haven't fully addressed yet.
What?
What about the future of creativity in a world where AI is getting so good at making art and music and writing?
Yeah, that's the big one.
Will human creativity become, obsolete?
It's a question a lot of people are asking.
For sure.
And the answer is more complicated than a simple yes or no.
I figured.
While AI can definitely automate some creative tasks, we can't forget that creativity is more than just technical skill.
It's about expressing yourself, telling stories, connecting with people on an emotional level.
Exactly.
Those are things that AI, at least right now, can't fully grasp.
Right. Human artists have something special, a depth of experience and emotional intelligence that AI doesn't have yet.
So AI can make things that look impressive, but it doesn't always have that emotional depth and meaning that we find in human-created art.
I think that's a key difference.
So maybe it's not AI versus human creativity, but rather, how can they work together?
That's a much better way to look at it. I see AI as a tool for artists, something that can help them break through creative blocks, explore new ideas, and push their art even further.
Like a creative partner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine using AI to create variations of a song, experiment with colors for a painting, or even help come up with storylines for a novel.
It's about using AI to enhance our own creativity, not replace it.
I love that. It's about finding new ways to work together to create something really incredible.
But what about the art market and artists trying to make a living?
Right, that's a real concern.
If anyone can use AI to make a masterpiece, does that mean human art is less valuable?
It's tough to say for sure.
Yeah.
Having all these AI tools available might make it harder for artists to stand out, but art is about more than just technical skill.
Like we were saying before, it's about emotions, stories, connecting with people.
Exactly.
Those are things AI can't fully replicate.
At least not yet.
So maybe this is a chance for art to evolve.
I think so too.
Instead of seeing AI as a threat, we can see it as a push to explore new directions.
I like that perspective.
Art that focuses on the human experience, emotions, storytelling, unique perspectives.
That are hard for AI to do.
Art that goes beyond just technique and dives into what it means to be human.
That's powerful.
This new era could lead to amazing new forms of art that we can't even imagine yet.
I think you're right.
This has been a really thought-provoking conversation.
It has.
We've talked about the tech behind generative AI, how it could change industries, and what it means for creativity itself.
A lot to think about.
It's clear that this technology is powerful and it's changing our world fast.
No doubt.
But there's still so much more to explore.
Definitely.
Let's continue our deep dive in the next part and talk about some practical steps you can take to start your own journey into the world of generative AI. We've spent a lot of time talking about what generative AI can do, how it's changing industries, and all the potential it has.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
But now I want to focus on the core of it all, creativity.
Okay, sure.
It's crazy to think that machines can make art, music, even write stories.
I know, right?
It really makes you think about what it means to be creative in this new world.
It definitely challenges the traditional idea of what art is.
It's exciting, but it also brings up some important questions.
Like what?
Like, what will happen to human creativity with all this AI around?
Right.
Will we become too reliant on AI to do the creative work for us?
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
Like any powerful tool, AI can be both helpful and, well, maybe a little dangerous.
How so?
If we only use AI to create things, we might forget how to do it ourselves.
Right. Like, if you don't practice a skill, you lose it.
Exactly. But I don't think we should be afraid to use AI in our creative process.
So we should embrace it.
In a way, yes. AI can help us be even more creative.
So it's not about AI replacing human creativity.
No, not at all. It's about using AI as a tool to expand our creative possibilities.
To break through those limits?
Precisely. I like to think of AI as a creative partner, like someone to collaborate with.
That's a cool way to look at it.
It can help us come up with new ideas, get past creative blocks, and explore new ways of expressing ourselves.
It's about using AI to reach new levels of creativity and innovation.
Exactly. Imagine using AI to, remix a melody you're working on, or test out different color combinations for painting, or even help you brainstorm plot ideas for a story.
So many possibilities.
I know, right?
It's not about AI versus humans. It's about AI and humans working together to create something truly amazing.
I completely agree. I think this collaboration is going to lead to art forms and expressions that we can't even imagine yet.
That's an exciting thought.
It really is.
But let's be real, there's a big question that a lot of people are worried about.
What's that?
What happens to artists and the art market when anyone can use AI to create a masterpiece?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Does that mean human-made art becomes less valuable?
It's a complex issue, no easy answers.
Yeah.
With all these AI tools available, it might be harder for artists to get noticed and make a living.
It's a valid concern.
But we also have to remember that art is about more than just technical skill.
Like we talked about, it's about emotions, storytelling, connecting with people on a human level.
Exactly. Those are things that AI, at least for now, isn't so good at.
AI can make something visually stunning, but it doesn't always have that emotional depth and meaning that human artists bring.
I agree.
So maybe instead of being scared, we should look at this as a chance for art to change and grow.
To adapt and evolve.
Yeah, like art that focuses on the human experience, things that AI can't replicate, like emotions, stories, and unique perspectives.
It's about going beyond just technique and skill.
And exploring what it means to be human.
I love that.
This could lead to incredible new art forms that we haven't even thought of yet.
I think so too.
Well, this has been an amazing conversation, really thought-provoking.
It has been.
We've explored so much about generative AI, the tech, how it could change the world, and what it means for creativity itself.
We really dove deep.
And it's clear that this technology is a powerful force that's shaping our world in so many ways.
And it's only going to get more powerful.
As we wrap up our deep dive today, I want to leave you with this. Generative AI is full of opportunities and challenges. It's a tool that can make us more creative, solve problems, and push us to innovate. But we can't just blindly embrace it. We need to think critically about how it's being used and what it means for us, ethically.
I couldn't agree more.
The future of generative AI is in our hands. We need to have open discussions, explore its potential, recognize its limits, and work together to make sure it's used for good.
Well said.
This journey into the world of generative AI has been incredible, and I hope it's made you curious to learn more.
Me too.
So don't be afraid to play around, experiment, and explore all the creative things that generative AI can do. The future of creativity is ours to shape, and it's an exciting time to be a part of it all. Thanks for joining us, and keep exploring.